All right, so let's begin. So again, a warm welcome to all of you on this Sunday, the 18th of April. I'm so excited to speak to all of you once again. And today the topic is pause. Now, pause means a lot different things to different people, so I'm going to address it in different areas of our lives. But here's the thing, this is one seed I want to plant in your minds, and that is, imagine if you are running, or imagine if you're in the gym and you don't take a pause. You don't stop to perhaps have a sip of water. You don't pause to perhaps wipe the sweat off, with the towel. You don't pause to perhaps, for those who still take their phones into the gym, check your messages while you're still working out. I'm not quite sure why that's done, but anyway, imagine if you don't do any of those things and you just keep working out constantly. What happens? Your muscles get tired. And at some point, you're just going to collapse. Now, keeping that perspective in mind, how can we implement more pausing in different areas of our life? Because just like in the gym, if you don't pause your mind, you're going to burn out. If you don't pause your digestive system, for example, your body, you're just going to have constant issues. If you don't pause when you're in a heightened state of awareness, you might do things that you will regret. So let's go through them one at a time. Now, one thing I love, and it's a habit that I've started, is to introduce a pause in my life on a daily basis. I do two things. And the first one is I've implemented a morning routine. Now, I'm not going to go into depth, but essentially, because that's for another talk, but essentially, when you have something in the morning that energizes you every single day, you start your day on a high. But what that also gives you, it's time for yourself. It's time with you, right? It's me, myself, and I. I'm not picking up my phone. I'm not reading the newspaper. I'm not checking my emails or watching the news or reading the news. Before I do any of that, I'm spending time with myself so I can get energized. And that allows me to reflect. And I enjoy it so much. I say, why stick to just the morning? How can I energize myself in little amounts, at different times of the day? So perhaps, you can set yourself an alarm on your phone every hour while you're at work just to say, take a 2-minute break. As simple as that, just 2-minute break. Just stop what you're doing. Look out the window. Or look around you. Just enjoy the view. I'm fortunate enough, I have an office on the 31st floor, so every now and again I pause, I walk up to the window and I just stay outside. I see the cars going by, I see the sea, I get to see some greenery, I get to see a lake, and I just enjoy that for a little while. I just give the mind a break. Just like in the gym where you can't keep going, my mind can't keep going. I got to slow that monkey down, I got to slow down those thoughts, I got to think of something else to give it a break. So what is around you that you can enjoy? Perhaps you're living in a house, you're working from home, you can stare at the window and enjoy the greenery. You can look up in the sky and go, wow, look at the cloud formation. Look at the beautiful blue sky. Whatever it is, there's something that you can enjoy and just pause and take your mind off whatever it is that you're doing. So set an alarm, that's one way of doing it. Another technique that I use is I enjoy a cup of tea. And I don't call it a cup of tea, I call it a cup of time. Because when I'm sipping on that tea and then just enjoying it, I've taken a pause for those few minutes and I'm just reflecting. Now, I want to be cautious here. It's not only about drinking lots and lots of caffeine. I end up drinking herbal tea, right? No caffeine, just something with some flavor. And if you don't want tea, hot water with fresh mint. Hot water with a little bit of cinnamon and lemon, whatever works for you. But just go easy. We don't want you to keep sipping lots of cups of tea that have caffeine and then it's going to affect your sleep later on. So, non-caffeinated warm drinks, okay, that are healthy. But again, it's about having that cup of time, that time to yourself and taking a break. Maybe it's just stopping and going for a walk, just, quick one round of the office, one round of the house. Doesn't take that long, just a couple of minutes, but gives you that break. So now you've got 3 different techniques that you can have. You can sip tea, you can set an alarm, and you can just, and stare outside and enjoy the view, or you can just get up and walk around. So before I continue, I see a few more people joining. Bela and May, welcome. Great to have you on board. By the way, if you're enjoying any of this, the good news is for all of you is that I've got the Break Free Foundation course. Everything that I speak about is my Break Free philosophy, and there's a foundation course on my website, and you're going to find the link in the bio where you can go and sign up for a 5-week complimentary course where you're going to get 1 video each week based on the different dimensions that I speak about. So make sure that you enter your email and get signed up for this complimentary course. Right, so we've covered pausing the mind. Now next we're going to move on to pausing the digestive system. I say pausing the digestive system because it needs a rest as well. Just how you rest while you're asleep, your digestive system needs a break as well during the day, not just while you're sleeping. It needs to pause as well. And many years ago I was told, Sahil, eat smaller meals and eat more often. And I've come to realize that actually that's not a very good idea. Why, you may ask? Think about it. Your digestive system is working. You enter food, it's working because it's breaking it down before it pushes the food from the, it's called gastric emptying, when it pushes it from the stomach into your intestine. And then that's a 3 to 5 hour process depending on what you've eaten, depending on, how difficult that food is to break down. Now imagine, if you're told to snack every 2 to 3 hours, essentially before your stomach is resting again, you've ingested more food and the system is working again. How crazy is that? And so until you don't go to bed, your digestive system is just working the whole day. Now what happens when a machine doesn't rest, when you're just constantly working it? Challenges pop up. So how about giving your digestive system a break? Ensure that you, every now and again, you fast. Intermittent fasting has become popular and it's a fad, but it doesn't have to be every day. For example, I fast twice a month and I do a 24-hour or a 36-hour fast. And I just want to give my digestive system a break, because guess what happens when you're not digesting food? That energy that was used to digest food is now going towards what the body does best, and that's healing. So many times when I'm not feeling well, I actually end up fasting because it accelerates my healing process. Now, I do want to just point out, this is not medical advice. It depends what the challenge is in your body. Fasting may not always be the solution, but it's definitely a solution on many occasions. So now we've covered pausing the mind, and we've covered pausing the digestive system. So that was more physical, the body, right? The third pause we're going to talk about is the emotional pause. Okay, the emotional pause. And that one, let me give you, a metaphor, right? So in general, you're like a horse and a horse rider. Okay? So normally you're the horse rider, not the horse. The horse rider is saying, right, I can, I'm going to direct the horse to go left, to go right, to go faster, to slower, jump, slow down, stop, whatever it might be. That's when your mind, your emotional state is in control. But guess what happens when your emotional state goes crazy? And it's not just when you get angry or frustrated. It can also be when you're overjoyed. I've heard of people who win the lottery and then go and buy something and then go, oh, why on earth did I buy that? I was in a high emotional state, made a stupid decision, and I actually don't need this. I just wasted all this money. So what can you do when you feel that you're transitioning from the horse rider to the horse? Because guess what happens when you're high on emotion and you're the horse? You're a wild animal. You can't control what's going to happen. And I don't know about you, but on many occasions I have said or done something and then I look back and I go, ooh, I wish I didn't say that. I wish I didn't do that. So that's when I pause, right? When I feel that I'm transitioning from the horse to the horse, from the horse rider to the horse, I pause and I start breathing. And I practice box breathing. What's box breathing? For example, you breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, breathe out for 3 seconds, and hold for 3 seconds again. And you keep repeating that until you transition back to the horse rider. Now with that pause, rather than reacting, you're now going to be consciously responding to whatever that situation is. Right? So I've given you 3 different pause methods. One for the mind, one for the digestive system, and one for your heightened emotional state. So now I'm open to questions. Let me see, we've already got a few questions coming in. Let's see here. How does one know what is good fasting and how long to fast? This is a question asked by Namita. So, based on science, not something that I'm just making up, your body goes into a mode called autophagy after about 18 hours of not having food in the system. And that's where your stronger cells attack your weaker cells and destroy them. So it's almost like a cleansing that's taking place. So if you fast and you don't get into the process of autophagy, and the previous state I believe is in ketosis, which is still not bad, but if you really want to get the healing benefits, you have to fast for at least 18 hours, right? And every hour after that has huge benefit. Now don't starve yourself, right? But humans can easily survive 24 hours without food. But you can take it in small steps, right? You can start with a certain amount and then increase it over time. And if you have a medical condition, please consult with your medical practitioner, because we want to be conscious and careful. But in general, if you really want to focus on the healing element, I recommend you get to at least 18 to 20 hours. Namita asking another question. She's very interested in fasting. Let's see. Does the fast mean water fast too? So again, even if you drink water, and when I say water, I literally mean only water, not juices and this and that, right? Something that's just very easy for your body to process. You can drink water, but if you really want to go gung-ho and give the system a complete break, you can also do a dry fast, right? So that's one where there's no liquid consumption. Now again, be conscious of where you are, be conscious of your body, listen to yourself. If you're really thirsty, if it gets to a state where it's causing pain rather than good, we don't want that to happen either. But if you avoid all items, both solid and liquid, for sure that will give you more of an effect. How much more, I do not know. I'm not the scientist behind it, but based on my experience and what I've read, I can tell you there is a benefit. But again, listen to your body. Your body's constantly sending you messages, and you want to be careful that you're not pushing too far. Okay, we have another question here from Tanvi. What is your meditation ritual to pause? Nice one. So, my personal meditation ritual is just to breathe. It's to breathe or to just stare outside and enjoy everything around me. So when I'm enjoying the nature around me, whether it's the sea or watching the lake or the trees and listening to the birds, I'm so focused on what is around me and just wowed by the whole surrounding and environment. My mind is completely off. So that's still a meditative state because I'm not thinking of anything else. So one is enjoy nature. And the second thing that I would say is just practice breathing. You can just take, in general, we're not conscious of our breathing, right? Because we take it for granted, just breathing in and out. But what about having those deep breaths? Not the one where your chest is going in and out, but more the belly, right? Those deep belly breaths. You really want to feel your belly going in and out as you breathe. So just practice that for a few seconds, maybe 30, 45 seconds. And already you're going to notice the difference. Great. Another question from Dwani. Does meditation help in pausing the uncontrolled mental conversations? It certainly helps. For sure, it helps control, the uncontrolled mental conversations because you're taking your mind off of it. But the key then becomes what happens when you stop meditation. You go right back in, right? And so this is where I always say, and it brings me to the story of the two wolves. Our mind is thinking a lot. The research shows that you're having between 10,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day. Okay? Now, assuming that you sleep 7 hours, that's around 1 to 5 thoughts. That's a thought, every 1 to 5 seconds. That's a lot of thoughts. But how aware are you of your thoughts? One great exercise that I did, for example, is I realized that I would be thinking about certain things that are negative, right? So you don't mind when you're thinking about some of the positive things, but it's more the negative things that bother you, right? So what I did was I got a pen and I got a small notebook, and I said to myself, every time I think a negative thought, I'm going to write it down. Now, I'm a positive guy, and I know that. And I'm like, I'm probably going to fill in a few lines. But guess what happened? I filled pages and pages of complaints. And it's not when you say something, you think it. It might be, oh, it's too hot, or I don't like the color of that paint on the wall, or, this plant behind me has grown too much. I don't like it. I need to get it cut. It could be anything. But I started writing it down, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have so many negative thoughts. Now, I wasn't aware because in general, like I said, I'm a positive guy, and I know that. But I also realized that there were many, many, many negative thoughts that were running through my mind. So this wonderful exercise taught me that by being more aware of what I'm thinking, I started changing and fueling the positive thoughts over the negative thoughts. And all of a sudden, I cleared up more time. I created space because I'm not thinking negatively anymore. And I've created space for positive things to enter my life. And remember, whatever is positive or negative, it's by your definition. It's not by someone else's definition. So whatever works for you, but getting more positive thoughts in your mind, go for it. But yes, so meditation or breathing or pausing or all the different techniques that I've shared, but more importantly, the awareness has helped me to stop that uncontrollable mental conversation, usually the negative one, because the positive one, I'm happy to have that in my mind all day long. So I hope that answers your question. I see some more people that have joined. Rish, hello. Mariam, hello. And I see Dwani saying that I'm going to give this exercise a shot. Thank you. Absolutely, my pleasure. So once again, everyone, if you've enjoyed this Instagram Live, if you go to my website, the link is in the bio, but it's www.sahilmehta.com. You can sign up for the Break Free Foundation course. It's completely complimentary. All you have to do is enter your email address, and you're going to get 5 videos over 5 weeks, sharing details on the Break Free framework. Any more questions before we wrap it up? Alrighty, well, I hope you've all had an amazing time. I hope I've given you a great roti. Roti is return on time invested. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, Anuj, truly inspiring. Thank you for the comments. Thank you, everyone. A pleasure being with you, and I'll see you next week. Love to all.